Hey there everyone, it's Moose and thank you so much for joining me back here. Today I want to do a video about the books I am trash for. Everyone has those books or series that they just really enjoy despite whether how well they're written, how corny they might be, how bad the plot is, how bad the tropes are, whatever. Everybody has those books that they're just like, give this to me. I'll eat it up any time of day. So today I want to talk about some of the, I think they're all series, the series that I feel that way about. And if you're familiar with my channel, these probably will not come as a surprise to you. The first series I want to mention is Twilight by Stephanie Meyer. Again, this series gets a lot of hate. A lot of people knock on it a lot. I get it. However, it is always a series that I will be infatuated by. I'm actually currently re-listening to them on audiobook. I've never listened to them as audiobooks. I've always read them physically when I've read them. And I've read them multiple times. But yeah, I could reread these over and over and over. I get an itching to reread them just every couple of years, really. Especially since when Midnight Sun came out. That one's my favorite in the series. I think a big part of a lot of these that I'm going to mention is a nostalgia factor, and for sure that contributes to my love for these. These came out, or at least got popular, when I was like middle school, transitioning to high school, those very prominent and determining years for a person. So these were just very embedded into my life as I was kind of growing and learning what I like to read. I was one of those Twihard girls that had like the Edward posters and the t-shirts, and my friend and I went to watch, I don't remember which one it was. It might have been Breaking Dawn. We went to like the midnight premiere of one of them. My mom took us when I was in middle school or maybe high school. I can't remember which one. I think it was like 9th grade. I think I was like a freshman in high school. Regardless, I'm trash for this series and pretty much always will be. Next up is something similar. I have The Hunger Games by Suzanne Collins. My favorite one is actually the second one, is Catching Fire. I'm just showing the first book for these series because I honestly just didn't feel like bringing all of these series in here, but that's okay. So yeah, The Hunger Games, again, got popular rather around the same time as Twilight for me, at least in my area. I think that's when all the movies and stuff started coming out too. So yeah, middle school, high school-ish time in my life, nostalgia factor, that, and it's just a good story in general. I reread these with my husband last year, maybe. I think it was last year. And again, it's another one of those series that I will just reread over and over again. It's not perfect. I found that my feelings kind of change with each new reread. I guess just growing up a little bit kind of shows me new things and different perspectives while reading them. But that's not a bad thing. That's a good thing. So I'm not as like blindly infatuated by this series as I was when I first read it. But if anything, I'm more interested and intrigued because I kind of understand the depth of some of the characters, of some of the plot points a little bit better. The next one will probably be a little controversial as well, but it is Harry Potter, the Harry Potter series. This is my paperback copy. I have the paperback copy and I have the big hardback box set copy that comes in like a trunk. This one was just easier to carry, and I didn't feel like, you know, whatever. I'm reading the first one with my son, so it's not in here. But Harry Potter, again, I think I read these in middle school. I reread them quite often since then. The last time I reread them was when my husband and I first started seeing each other. So it's been a few years, like 3 or 4 years since I've read these. It's my goal to reread them by the end of the year. So like I say, I am reading the first one with my son. My favorite is Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince. I am a huge fan of backstory, and you get a whole lot of that in here. especially about Voldemort and the Horcruxes and all that kind of stuff. So Half-Blood Prince is my favorite. To me, this is just, I know it's not perfect, okay, and I know there are some things going on with JK, whatever, but the story itself is just a good story about love, in my opinion. That's what it is. I'm a Christian. I've known people who won't read this because of like magic and stuff like that. To me, I don't read it for the magic. I'm definitely a fantasy person. I like magic elements in pretty much anything I read. But to me, this is just a good story about love and friendship. And at the end of the day, that's what I enjoy. That and these just grow with you. As the characters get older, the story becomes more mature and they just get more interesting and everything gets more detailed and in depth and kind of raw. And I find that with each new reading, I take something new and different away from these. So again, I'm trash for the series. I'll reread it over and over again. I probably always will. Next up is fairly new in terms of since I've started BookTube. I have A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. I'm not alone in this. I know a lot of people are trash for this series and just trash for her in general. I haven't read any of her other series like all the way through. I think I have a bookmark in here. Oh, I do. Oh, I have a letter and a bookmark. I have a letter from Ethan. I've opened it, but apparently I just shoved it in here last time I was reading when he was away at one of his trainings. Anyways, yeah, BookTube made me read this for sure, and I'm so glad it did. I actually recently reread this year that I'm making this video in, and it's not as high up as like the first three on this list. There's not going to be like a nostalgia factor attached to it or anything like that. I'm grown up, I'm an adult. I feel like I'm pretty established in who I am and who I'm going to be for the majority of my life. Of course, people change, and I'm sure I won't be exactly who I am right now come 20 years, but I don't feel like there's going to be any kind of factor like that attached to this, but it's just a fun fluff read, and that's basically what it is for me. This one and the next one I'm going to talk about, they're not books that I think I'm going to like learn something new about myself or anything like that. Sure, the characters have some depth, maybe not as much as some of the other series that I've talked about, not Twilight. Twilight's complete fluff for me. Fluff and nostalgia, that's what it is. I read that one just for pure enjoyment, and same for this one, just pure enjoyment. I enjoy the story, I enjoy the characters, I like the romance in it. Some of it's kind of cringy, but I'm trash. And then the last one, I only have the third book, so I'm just going to put a picture of the first book here. From Blood and Ash by Jennifer L. Armentrout. This series is new to me. I just read it this year for the first time, and I'm already trash for it. I'm already wanting to reread it. I'm holding off until the new book comes out, whenever that may be. I will read the series again in preparation for that one, but yes. I think I like this one so much because it's just like vampires, which I like anyways, mixed with ACOTAR vibes. Like, it's just good. The story's good. The story progressively gets better, I think. I think the first one, From Blood and Ash itself, the plot isn't really what kept my engagement. I really think like the questions that I had, you know, why is Poppy being secluded from everybody? What does it mean to be the maiden? Like, all of that kind of stuff is kind of what drove me to finish that book. And of course, the romance elements to it as well. Some are cringy, and they progressively get cringier as Poppy and Castile get like more familiar with each other. You know what I'm talking about if you've read it. But yeah, I can definitely foresee myself rereading this series like every couple of years for sure. Again, more of like a fluff read. I don't really anticipate learning anything about myself from it or anything like that, but I'm total trash for it. I will, yeah, it's good. I enjoy it. So yeah, there we go. Those are 5 series that I'm just total trash for. I enjoy them repeatedly every time I read them, or at least I anticipate to enjoy them every time I read them in the case of Blood and Ash, because From Blood and Ash, yeah, I've only read that one once, but there's no way I won't enjoy it when I read it again. You know what I'm saying? These are just some of my favorite series, really, to just reread and kind of just enjoy myself with. I don't have any expectations when I go into these anymore. I know what I'm going to get, and I'm happy with what I'm going to get. For whatever reason, whether it's nostalgia, whether it's just entertainment, fluff, whatever, I just enjoy reading these series over and over again, and will always find entertainment in them. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you liked it, be sure to subscribe down below and leave a comment. Let me know down below, what are some series / books that you're trash for? These aren't necessarily like my top favorite books. I do have some books that are some of my favorites for different reasons that I'm not what I would consider trash for, but these for sure are. So let me know down below, what are some series that you're trash for? Otherwise, you guys are awesome. I am so, so thankful for you. And we'll be back here next time, guys. See ya.